how do you like go headhunt great talent? Are you hopping on LinkedIn? Are you working your warm network? Like what are some places you found where you can find great talent? And then maybe just walk us through that process of like, here's how I bring them into the company, the interview process, get them
Yeah.
into our culture. What's that look like?
So the crazy part is I've learned you can find talent everywhere. There's not like a recipe. I've hired 11 people from putting job postings on Craigslist, right? And so people are looking for jobs everywhere. I think here's I would say some of my like interview success, or again, I'm this is not a steadfast rule because what I'm looking for might be completely different than somebody else. I do not care what college you have gone to. Like it does not like I don't think I read any resumes, right? When people come and interview with me. I very much care about how your brain operates, right? And so like the first and foremost, I need to find people that are compatible with my working style, right? And so that's something that I've had to be really honest with myself on and what works and what doesn't work. So the first one I'm always looking for, I need to work with logical people. I'm a very logical person. When I communicate, right, I need to see a linear fashion of thinking so that I can understand, what they are planning to do from the strategy that I have built, so that I can basically, in my mind, draw out and see if the expected value of the decisions that they're making are going to produce, positive impact for the company. So when I'm interviewing somebody, I'm asking a lot of questions on numbers, on their goals, the decisions that they made. What did they think? What was the impact of that? What was the actual impact of that? And I'll go over and over and over again because what I'm trying to do, there's this really great book called Thinking in Bets. I'm trying to see if the decisions that they're making beforehand, right, whatever they think the impact is over time, that they're generally right, right? Because that shows a logical pattern of thinking, right?
Yeah.
Um, so that first and foremost is a criteria that you will not be able to work at any of my companies if you're not a logical thinker, because we won't get along. Like if you come to me and say, well, I want to do this because I think it's the right thing, right? Well, it's not. I'm like, well, how are you going to know if you're right? How are we going to scale that? How are we going to reproduce that? How do you know how much budget you need to spend for that, right? I just know wouldn't work in my world, right? So I care a lot about just people being very logical. We talked about people being authentic, right? Like it's important to me that I don't have to feel like I'm pretending or that you're pretending, right? Like we're both professionals here. We came because we geek out on business, right? And so I want to be able. I think the being authentic is feeling comfortable in your own skin. It's being self-aware. It's being both a good communicator and a good listener, right? So I would say all of those things, right, kind of get wrapped into one. Um, and then the last one I would say is grit and resourcefulness. I like people who can unblock themselves, right? Um, I'm good if I don't know something. I have the tools that I need to do to go and find the answer. I don't need to go to somebody always and say, well, how do I do this, right? Like ever since the internet got created, like there's Google, there's ChatGPT. With those two things, you can find the answer to almost everything. And so I like people who are generally resourceful, right, and can unblock themselves because that they can move at a pace that's faster than anybody else. So those are generally
Yeah.
my three buckets. Like I don't think you need to check 400 different things. I think if you have those three things, I'll give you a chance.